Welcome to Good Mythical More. We ask you your practices while in the grocery store. Do you do some stuff you shouldn't? Do we also do those things?
First, let's play What's the Word? We're going to guess the definition of, I think I know this one for once, antediluvian.
I don't have my glasses on, I just have my goggles on.
Yeah.
I can't read this. But my eyes are gonna stay dry.
Yeah. You might need those goggles if you know what this word means. That's a hint, Link.
A-N-T-E. It's not anti, it's
antediluvian.
I really like the voice you used when you were kind of giving your hint to Link.
Linky. You might need those goggles.
So this is baby talk. Antediluvian?
It means before the flood. Yep.
Period before the biblical flood.
Yes, my area of study. Not a joke.
So what is the, what was your hint?
You might need those goggles.
Oh.
For the flood that's coming.
Don't talk to me like a baby. It's raining a lot.
I was literally, just to give you an idea of how boring my life might be at times, I was listening to a podcast about this exact subject on my way into work this morning.
This morning,
but there's
what are the chances?
Well, it's 70% because that's my area of interest.
You know what? It feels good to say that. I'm gonna start saying that a lot more. What are the chances?
Oh yeah, maybe it should be a catchphrase.
Tell us, what did you learn? Give us a tidbit of your antediluvian.
Well, the people the scholars who are studying this, basically it's really interesting, right? So when you look at, I think, Genesis 3 or 4, when they're kind of talking about this person invented music and this person did this and this person did this, it seems like they're trying to explain why we have music and why we have farming and why we have pasturing and stuff like that. Yeah, there's like these people who are like the father of this or the lyre or whatever. A lyre, the musical instrument. Not someone who doesn't tell the truth. And then in Genesis 6, there's the story of the flood. It doesn't make sense to have this story of the flood inserted into this that destroys everyone except one family if the story of those other guys coming up with all this stuff was helping to explain why we have these things today. And it's one of the many reasons why they believe that the story of the flood was inserted into a text that never originally had it. And also, that book is basically a conglomeration of a bunch of different texts that were going around that they put together. The Genesis 1 creation account and the Genesis 2 creation accounts are two completely different creation accounts that are put together, and that's why they are seemingly contradictory.
So it's not that they're a bunch of liars. It's more that things just kind of get jumbled up.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of
you
that,
want more? I can keep going.
I was just about to ask.
Hey, since we're bursting people's bubbles here,
yeah,
I just want to go ahead and say that this pet simulator is just a stuffed animal. That is all the pet simulator is. There's no electronics in it.
Do you water it?
You don't water it. You don't interact with it. You nothing. It's just you can pretend to have a pet, which I guess is what a plushie is.
Easy to take care of, and there's 12 to collect.
And he had a gold tooth. That's pretty cool.
Did he, Stevie?
Yeah.
Look at him. All right.
This isn't necessarily about what you do wrong in the grocery store. It's more like what are appropriate grocery store habits. And people are very passionate about this subject because we had like about 20,000 people who wanted to voice their opinion on all these questions.
Yeah, but I am going to tell them where they're wrong. So.
Okay, great. Are you a grocery store frequenter?
I am.
You are? It gives me so much anxiety. It's like maybe ranks in my top 5 anxiety.
I love it.
What about it makes you anxious?
Not if I were if I was outside of LA, I feel like I wouldn't have anxiety, but you go to a grocery store in LA and it's like I feel like I'm fighting for my life. Like it is a battle. Like it's like
Yeah, it depends
getting
on
through
where you
people
go.
and
it's like there's a snowstorm coming on North Carolina and everybody.
Exactly. You hit Whole Foods at the wrong time. It's like the entire produce section is wiped out. You're like going behind the people stocking things like, excuse me, but I need to grab this before.
And the aisles are narrower.
It's so, you can't move your cart around, so you always have one eye on your
North Carolina,
cart.
you can go 4 carts wide and there's nobody in the aisle anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay, I understand. Let's get to it.
So we asked, how much time do you typically spend in a grocery store?
48 minutes.
Okay, so you're saying we gave some banned options, but okay.
Well, I think there are some very quick trips, and then there are some very long trips. I think 48 minutes is at the very high end of a long, laborious trip.
No, I
well,
think
let's
that's
say
the
it's
average.
your weekly
Your
trip. I think that's
average-
what people were
Yeah.
thinking.
I think that would be a really inefficient trip. I mean, like, what's happening? You got to take the cart back because you got a squeaky wheel or something?
Well, no, you're just buying stuff. You have a family. You're buying stuff. What's the bands?
I wouldn't know anything about that.
0 to 30, 30 to an hour, 1 to 2,
Oh,
3
this
plus.
the bands are too wide because I think people are going to pick a 30 to an hour, but I think the average is actually 27 minutes.
It's not. It can't be. I mean, you can't fill up a cart in less than 30 minutes.
I'm saying I'm not talking about that one weekly trip.
That's what we're talking about.
I'm talking about. What about when you just want a stick of gum? What about
Why you take 27 minutes to get
go
a
to
stick of gum?
Walgreens.
No, because I'm getting an average.
Go to a gas
Those
station.
3, 4, 5 minute trips. Sometimes you just want a magazine. Sometimes you don't even go in. You just go right back in and get a magazine.
You go to Rouse to get a stick of gum.
Okay, 30 to an hour. That was what most people said.
Yeah, most people said 30 to an hour.
But they were thinking
Second
48.
was 0 to 30. 0 people voted for 3+ hours, which makes a lot of sense. That's too many hours.
But those coupon women or men,
Or
coupon people,
Costco. I mean, you could build a day out of Costco, really.
3+ hours. What would have
what
to
a
happen
nightmare.
to you to get in a grocery store situation for 3.5 hours? Maybe a couple of really unexpected, deep conversations.
you could slip on something that spilled
You
and
get
then
hurt and you have to sit there for those paramedics.
they could treat you there.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Which day is best for grocery shopping?
Okay, here we go.
Definitely a weekday. Probably Tuesday. Monday, everyone's like, I got to get the week started. Too crowded. Tuesday, there's still stuff on the shelves. You can orient your week.
When do they restock, though? What's the typical restock?
But if you have a full-time job,
If you go on Monday, everything's cleared out.
you really you're probably going to want to make this a weekend thing. But who wants to take up their weekend with grocery shopping?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's... What's the best day versus is what we're talking about. Not-
Tuesday.
We
the
asked
best day.
what the best day was.
Tuesday's the best day.
I think Thursday, because you're thinking about the weekend and what you're going to need to get
not a
so
bad
that you
answer.
don't have to go back.
Not a bad answer. But I might
Okay,
be a
so
little too
I
hungry
think
on
we're
Thursday.
thinking the same thing. The mythical beasts were not, because they chose Sunday, which is like the worst day you could go
Yeah.
In terms of crowds.
in terms of crowds. Yeah,
But I think maybe they're not in overpopulated areas.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy, does that sound nice, huh?
Tokyo is an overpopulated area.
Yep. Yep. I don't do it anymore. I don't do it anymore. You don't do it anymore. I don't do it anymore. I don't do it.
You don't do it
anymore.
anymore. I didn't say it for you to do it, by the way, because I know you don't do it anymore, and you never did.
Right.
I just
think
learned.
I think I did it once.
I just recently learned that Tokyo is the most populated, largest city on the planet. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Link, that's true. I don't. Is it true?
You see, he didn't know that either. Thought it would be like a Chinese or an Indian city.
I thought it was.
I know.
Where did you learn that? Is that true?
We're trying to fact check.
James is
We tried to
nodding.
fact check every episode, though.
When we were
you
kids,
know.
it was Mexico City because I remember that being a trivia question, and then it changed at some point.
Well,
It's Tokyo. Delhi's
that.
number 2. Time
Dallas
of day.
is number 2.
Delhi, not Dallas.
Delhi, not New Delhi, but just Delhi.
See, I bet grocery shopping in Dallas is easy. Psh.
Shopping in Phallus is easy.
Okay.
You know, isn't that? Hold on, isn't it Phallus a grocery?
Go on. Go
I
on.
know what he's talking about.
Fallas.
I think I've seen this.
That's
Isn't
not
it?
the spelling I was thinking
I
of.
think it's Falas.
Phallus. Hey, Phallus. Let's go. It's a Spanish grocery store.
Falas. Fallas.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
double
yes.
L would be a
Shopping in Phallus. You
I think
guys,
shopping in
I'm
Phallus.
really being misinterpreted today.
Yeah, well. It's Fallas, right? Fallas.
Yeah.
Fallas.
Falles?
Well, because it's 2 L's. 2 L's in Spanish is a Y sound.
Time of day, we're saying. Time of day to grocery shop.
Well, y'all got me all thrown off. You're on Sunday, so you're already in Sunday. Mm-hmm. Middle of the day is what y'all said because you don't want to get up. Let me think about what I would actually say. And then I'll think about what you would say. They stock the shelves at night. So there is a technical answer here. And that is the morning. The morning is when you will have the best selection. All the stuff in the bakery section will be fresh. The meats will be fresh. They set all that stuff out very early. If you go at the end of the day, you got slim pickings. This stuff's not as fresh.
You're not too hungry.
You're not too hungry. The definitive, correct, objectively true answer is the morning.
9 a.m. on a Sunday.
They said in the morning.
I'm gonna have to miss Sunday school, but I had to go to the grocery store,
50% of y'all shopping on Sunday morning instead of going to church and learning about the flood.
Okay.
They're probably giving you the wrong information there, so you should be listening to more podcasts anyway.
This one's tough. Is it better grocery shopping alone or with someone? Cassie has an answer for this one.
Well, yeah, because you're so anxious. He doesn't want to go with you.
Yeah.
Stevie, stay in the car.
Does
I'll
not-
crack the windows.
Does not like going with me.
When Cassie leaves you in the car, does your new car have that dog mode?
What is that? Where the AC comes on?
You can leave your pets in. When you leave your partner in the car, is there a partner mode?
Well, she also
Treat
doesn't
trails?
like riding in a car with me, so.
Okay. Don't worry, she's in there on dog mode. And people walk by and see you in there, and it's on the screen. It says, "Don't worry, my owner is coming back."
Right.
I'm also I'm a grocery person who's like, what do we need? She's a grocery person that's like, ooh, that looks cool.
Yeah, me and Cassie should shop together.
And so I preferred if I don't go because more fun things come back. My grocery shopping's boring.
Looks like 3 hours. I think I want to go alone.
I think it's easier if you're alone, but if you have someone else there and you are in sync, you can divide and conquer.
I'm an AirPods in the grocery store guy.
Really?
Yep.
You've been doing that a lot lately. Multiple times when we recently traveled on a plane, I would try to talk to you after the plane landed or as the plane was taking off, and every time you're like a teen. I'm trying to talk to a teen. You got to keep cutting off you're listening to music while you're skiing, which is dangerous. You're listening to music while you're mountain biking, which is also dangerous. Like a teen, man.
I'm listening to music when you're talking to me, which is not dangerous.
Yeah.
Is he talking to me?
I think that they said alone.
It was close, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at how close that was.
Ooh, with someone.
If you're dating somebody and it's, let's go shopping together.
Grocery store dates are good early in the relationship.
Because you're pretending to be more serious than you are.
First 6 weeks of a relationship, nothing as great as shopping together at the grocery store.
Well, I
Moving
would
into week 7.
first 6 weeks.
Some of the surprises worn off.
I would say Walmart or Target, but I wouldn't say grocery.
No.
Grocery is a real test. That's like
Grocery-
meeting the parents.
Grocery is great. Grocery shopping's great those first 6
But you don't live together.
You got to set the parameters. If it's a date grocery shopping, it can be fun because it's you're shopping for a single meal or a single night experience.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
for a week.
Yeah, it gets a little serious
Right.
if it's I'm doing my weekly shopping. But yeah,
Right.
shopping for a meal that you're going to go
Date
make
gimmick
or something
shopping.
like that. Yeah.
Try it out. Try it out.
That's nice.
There's a Starbucks in some of them.
It's true. It's true, Link.
Share a little
I've seen
beverage.
those.
There's a beer in some of them. You can have a bar. I mean, there's a bar in some of them. You can have a beer.
There's a beer. Hey, there's a beer in some grocery stores. In fact, one time I walked around in a corner, I saw a whole aisle of them.
I say one thing backwards. Here we are.
Should you bring reusable bags or use
Yes.
the paper plastic bags?
You should
ours-
do reusable.
In our state, they charge you for the bags. Is that every state now? Nope. It's not Florida, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Florida, they give you extra.
But what do you think everybody said?
Everyone said the right and responsible thing.
Bring
And
your
they
own.
said reusable.
Yeah, actually, not everyone, but like a good portion of people did.
But they don't do it. They just think they should.
I'll be honest with you. I've got the reusable ones in my car.
Right. And you remember it.
And I remember
you're
it
checking
when I'm
out.
in the store.
Right.
But then I use the plastic bags that I get.
For what?
All kinds of stuff. I've put multiple things. I used it as a laundry bag while traveling one time.
Like for wet clothes?
A bathing suit bag, yes. I've used it for when sometimes you got your toiletries and you're a little bit, you got like a new thing in your toiletry bag and you're like, I don't know if this is gonna leak. Ever since my hair product leaked all over your clothes and ruined them in 2007.
Right.
Oh, that's what happened. I thought it was just a choice that Link made. That was a dig about Link's clothing choices in 2000. Wow. Wow.
I didn't say anything about it.
Wow.
I still feel bad about this because
It was so greasy.
we were taking a little trip
hair grease.
and I used at the time a pomade that was a very greasy pomade that apparently when it got hot it turned into liquid and it fell right out and went all over. He had packed all his favorite shirts
In your suitcase? Why do we share a suitcase?
because yeah, that's right, it was your fault, you were being cheap. Yeah, so technically now that I
don't know why we shared a suitcase. I think we had a suitcase with equipment in it, and then we had it, and we didn't want to pay for another bag or something.
I don't remember.
I think we did that.
Did you ever get it?
No,
Did you ever get any of this? Did you get stuff out of those? It didn't ruin every shirt. It probably ruined
most everything.
three
yeah.
shirts.
Most everything. All right, one last one. Make it count.
Should you start grocery shopping in the produce section, snack section, frozen section, or wing it every time?
Well,
You want to end in anything that needs to remain frozen or cold. You end the trip with that, right? So give me the choices again.
Produce, snack, frozen, or wing it?
You start in snack.
snack is it's not on an end.
I go in my grocery store. I read it like a book. I go to the left.
You go to the left. You go in the left door then. Whatever door I go in, if I go in the right door, I go around that way.
In my grocery
If I go on the
store,
left side, I go in on the left side.
left is breads.
Yeah, left is bread. We have the same grocery store.
And then I move and
I've never seen you there
because you don't go.
because I don't go.
But you gotta you do end up hitting some meat in the back. And stop for your meat hitting part. And meat, so it's actually okay. What you don't want is something that needs to stay frozen.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
I always go to the right. And usually always to the right is the produce section. And there's an overwhelming response for this, which is the produce section. And I think that's because people usually start on the right and go around.
In our grocery store,
It's like a book.
the produce section is kind of middle right.
Yeah. But it is on the right.
The far right is
Liquor.
beers.
Beers.
They're over
Multiple
there.
Beers.
And the
Let's
far
start with
left is
beers.
breads. Yeah.
I guess I have noticed as I'm lapping my grocery store that I am going against traffic a lot of the times.
Only
feels
thing
good, though.
I do in a grocery store is I walk back and forth in the aisle right in front of the checkout, and I read the signs. And then when I get to the end, I turn around and I read the signs the other way. And then when I get back to the beginning, I read the signs the third time, and then I ask somebody to help me find what I've been looking for. That's how I grocery shop.
And then
Because I'm sent to get something.
right. And then what happens with me is like I'll lose my mom and then I'll start walking down the aisles and looking in every single aisle and where is she? And then I start panicking and I'm like, oh crap, where's mom? And then I'm like, should I talk to an adult? And then I'm like, no. And then I go down and I look on every aisle again. I'm like, how is she hiding? Where is she? Is she on the end? And then I go to the other end and I walk along the end, look down every single aisle. And then I really start to panic.
Right.
And then I go up to the top and I'm like, I can't find my mom. And then they're like, Diane McLaughlin, your son is at the front. And then she comes up there and usually I get spanked.
And then you hit the meat in the back. She hits the meat in the back.
I was gonna say that, but my other jokes bombed.
Now every kitchen can be a mythical kitchen. The Mythical Cookbook is available now, so go to mythicalcookbook.com and get yourself a copy.